Alright, so we're getting close to the final 24 hours before Spider-Man 2 finally comes out. If your hype levels are through the roof as they are in my case, let me know down below in the comments. In the meantime, we have some brand new gameplay going over one of the new zones that we're gonna play into, as well as a massive day one update that you should definitely get ready for because it's going to be almost half the size of the game. And by the way, you still have a few more hours to enter the giveaway for 2 copies of Marvel Spider-Man on the PlayStation 5. You just have to be sub to the channel, leave a thumbs up on the video and comment below that you want to enter. And I will announce the winner tomorrow or well the day after that depending on the time zone. But it's going to be before the game launches so that you can obviously preload and do all of that. Anyway, we have a pretty interesting hidden achievement that's been shared by the main Insomniac Twitter account. So yeah, this also features the Maimonides Park. It's one of the locations you can visit in Coney Island. And apparently, yeah, in this case, you can trigger the home run achievement by running between those 3 or well 4 bases. Now, I'm not familiar with baseball rules, so let me know down below if that counts as a home run. I'm not sure it does, but it seems that Miles is able to trigger that. So possibly this indicates that there might be many more other hidden achievements like these that you can do in seemingly simple but very easy to miss ways. Also, it's super interesting to see that minor league baseball stadiums get featured in this game, not just like major landmarks. So yeah, this reminds me of the 2018 release when people were actually visiting their own apartments. That just sounds mind-blowing to me. But even paying attention at the graphics on the 720p on the last video, I mean, the game just looks absolutely gorgeous. But at the same time, also prepare for a massive day one update. In fact, if you already get the digital version and already preloaded the game, you should have spotted an almost 37 gig download happening as we speak. So this should contain the usual performance fixes and any bug flashouts that normally make these games run much better on day one. However, you're not fully conditioned by it. If you own the physical edition instead, you can just play the game start to finish even if you don't have it. So this was officially confirmed by Insomniac on their Twitter account not too long ago. So on October 20th, the disc contains the entire game and is playable from start to finish with no patch or online requirement. But for the best experience, we highly encourage physical/disc based players to download update version 1.102 on launch day prior to playing the opening mission of the game for the first time. Digital players, you don't have to worry. If you preload the digital version of the game, you will get the update anyway. But this update features polish to the Gold Master version of Marvel Spider-Man 2 available on the disc, which improves the opening sections of the game and includes other general refinements to your Spidey experience, including some additional accessibility options. Now, in terms of the release times, it didn't seem that Insomniac put out any official statement, neither did PlayStation channels. So what this means is that, yeah, we're gonna go with the default Sony launch windows, which is going to be midnight, October 20th in your local time zone. So what this means is that as soon as the clock hits October 20th, midnight in your local time zone, you're going to get that game unlocked. This also means that New Zealand is going to be, again, one of the first regions, well, first region to unlock the game, and New Zealanders are going to be the first players to enjoy it. This also means that if you, well, have a New Zealand account, you can play the game slightly earlier than everybody else. But moving on, we have some really insane comparisons posted by various people online. So check out this massive difference between the notoriously funny low poly boat people in the 2018 release compared to the one now in Spider-Man 2. I mean, the difference is like night and day. Even the water graphics, despite us knowing that they looked pretty good back in 2018, doesn't even compare to the new release. And of course, the facial features and the structures are just better. And that's obvious because you're going to travel to this location. There are many boats you can use as perch points as you go over the river in the new districts, and even more so if you use your web gliding. We have a few more though, including this one from the gameplay reveal back in the summer compared to the ones from the same location in the recent reviews. You can see that there is a massive difference in the lighting, and I mean just the contrast and the way the light just bounces over the suits is definitely much better this time around, and a lot more vibrant and a lot more clear. Almost like even like the hours are a bit more different, even though it definitely seems to be the exact same sun position. Plus, the background is a lot more detailed compared to even back then. So very interesting to see how Insomniac is capable of releasing games that literally look better on launch day than they did in their reveal trailers or gameplay. Most other companies go through severe downgrades when the launch happens. Props to Insomniac for actually figuring that out. But let's move over to the next section, which is going to be about the game length. For those of you who are still worried about it, Forbes just posted some clarifications about it. So Paul Tassi was able to finish about 98% of Marvel Spider-Man, almost going in with the full platinum, and he is able to break down how long it takes for the full story campaign and then for the side content. So according to him, the main campaign is probably like 14 to 17 hours long. There are barely anything resembling time or level gates for story moments, so if you wanted to straight blitz it, you could do that in shorter time, but you would be disadvantaged with underpowered gear and skills for some of the game's latter, tougher segments. A more normal playthrough mixing and matching side quests and objectives within the game was around 24 hours. He says. And this also goes in tune with what IGN also mentioned. They finished the main campaign in 18 hours, but that probably included a bit of side content too. As far as going on for full 100% platinum completion, it should take around 28 to 30 hours. By the end, I was passing up random street crimes eventually because I had so many materials, I just didn't need to do them anymore. Sorry, New York citizens. So yeah, that's pretty funny, but it does go within the same estimates as we knew before, around 30 hours to finish and fully platinum the game. So yeah, that sounds about right. Given the fast-paced action and all the things that happen, that's about in tune with what happened with the first game. However, it is considerably shorter than God of War Ragnarok, which for 100% completion required significantly more than that, about 50 hours at least in my case, and I played that game for like 100 hours. Had to uncover many things in it by default. But I mean, let me know down below what's your opinion on the 30-hour mark. In the meantime, we do have some interesting details on the starting stages and us meeting with, of course, Harry Osborn early on and how he comes back into Peter's life. So one of the questions was, well, Peter now has his best friend coming back into his life with Harry, of course, and he also has his best friend Miles now. How is that going to look like? And Yuri explained, well, Peter's got two people in his life and he's splitting the time between MJ and Miles, and while Harry used to be in his life more, Peter is obviously super happy to see Harry again, but it inevitably challenges his triangle that they've set up. A triangle is really strong and now it's a square, which I guess could be also strong, but it's definitely different. Peter has taken on this mentor figure for Miles. Now with Harry back, he just wants to spend time with Harry because Harry is his best friend, he added. So yeah, it definitely sounds like we're gonna spend quite a bit of time with Harry, which I'm all up for because I mean, it's a very interesting dynamic over there that I wanted to see more being explored in this game. So really glad that they went with that direction, and there are some potentially really interesting comic moments in there that could be revealed. And it also seems from the previous trailers and previews that Harry is aware that Pete is Spider-Man, or at the very least he also spends time with Pete in his Spider-Man costume, as we've seen from some of the early on IGN shots. Anyway, that's it with the news for now. Totally stay tuned and subscribe if you want to see more Spider-Man content on the channel. There are gonna be a lot of guides and gameplay coming up really soon, so I will see you in the next video.